Sorry. Oh man, I've re-recorded this like 10 times, which is rare for me because I'm pretty good at talking and sometimes I can get through a video in like 10 minutes, but today has just been one of those days, you know? Maybe it's because I'm wearing a gray shirt and I'm blending into the background and I just happen to look like a human-sized HomePod, but it's been a weird day. But there is some good news because we're going to be reviewing a new smart speaker by Apple. You might have heard of it, the HomePod Mini. But before we even talk about it, we kind of got to go back in time and revisit the regular HomePod. Like, this thing has incredible sound. And if you look at all the old reviews and take my advice, this is probably one of the best sounding smart speakers on the market. But the reason why it didn't do well back then wasn't because of the sound. It was because of the price and the smart features that the Assistant offers. At a time where Google and Amazon were throwing out Echoes and Minis for under $50, Apple couldn't compete. Because if you haven't learned or watched history, people always prefer price and convenience over really great sound. And a lot of people just wanted good smart assistants in their homes. They wanted to be able to turn on the lights, play music, and all those types of sorts of things. And Siri was just not as good as what Google and Amazon offered. They also had access to more devices that you could control. Fast forward to 2020, Apple introduces the HomePod Mini, a cheaper, more affordable version of the bigger HomePod. This is $99, $129 here in Canada. And it doesn't sacrifice the sound quality because it's smaller. It's the same price as the Nest Audio and the Amazon Echo, but it sounds better. Now I'm gonna play all three devices for you, and it's gonna be hard to pick up over the microphone because you need to listen to it in person, but try to envision it, listen to it properly because this is important. The Nest Audio, the Amazon Echo is going to get louder. The highs on the Nest Audio peak higher. But what the HomePod Mini does so well is provide balanced sound. There's more layers, there's more depth. It feels warm, you know? You can feel the mids, you can feel the bass, and you still have a nice clear end. Now, one thing I truly love that Apple is doing is making their speakers look like they belong on your shelf. There are too many ugly, boxy speakers out there, and a lot of these manufacturers are shifting to a lot more appealing devices. This looks good, you know? It still has that mesh fabric that the bigger HomePod has. It's a little chunkier, you know? It's been eating too many Doritos, but it's tiny and cute. You don't see this on your shelf, and if you do see it, it doesn't look like an eyesore. Now, it doesn't have as many mics as the bigger HomePod, but by God, does these HomePods pick up my voice without any issues. Like, you could literally have the music blasting, talk normally, and the microphones will pick up your voice. Much better than the competition, which is very impressive. Now, there are some great features that come with these devices. There's a thing called handoff. So imagine you're talking on the phone or you're playing music and you want to pass it off to your HomePod. Usually with other devices, you got to go into the phone, you got to cast it, and then it'll push it to the speaker. With Apple's U1 chip, you simply just tap the top of your HomePod Mini or HomePod, and whatever you're listening to gets transferred to the HomePod. This works with Spotify, this works with Pocket Casts, this works with Apple Music. Then Apple also introduced a new feature called Intercom, which is the same sort of concept as Broadcast that Google uses for their speakers, but Broadcast is not as good. Like Intercom, you can direct what speakers you want it to go to. It also saves it on those speakers for up to 8 minutes. But the problem I have with HomePod is the same problem I had 2 years ago. The Siri Assistant is better, much better, but it's still nowhere nearly as good as what Google and Amazon is offering with theirs. There's a lot of reasons for this. You know, a lot of people bash on Apple's Siri, but you have to remember something. Okay? When it comes to privacy, I trust Apple a lot more than I do Google and Amazon. Apple doesn't run an SEO search business. They don't make money collecting your data like Google does. They don't make money collecting your data like Amazon does. They don't have as much information to fine-tune these algorithms as those other companies. And I'd rather have a smart assistant that's good enough, but also at the same time that's doing a better job with my privacy. Another cool feature is stereo pair. Imagine you have two of these, okay? You bring them in your house, you place them down together, you go on your phone, and you can set these in a stereo pair, meaning you get good left and right separation. There is zero delays. Zero delays when music is playing. Whereas with the Nest Audio, sometimes I'd get slight delays, which wasn't as fancy, but these do it very well. You know, when they pair, the tops of these things light up white, and they sound great. HomeKit has gotten better, and there's a lot more devices that support it now. But I'm someone who has a Nest video doorbell and Ring alarm system, and these devices are not supported by HomeKit. However, they're supported by both Google's ecosystem and Amazon's. I could literally have both Amazon and Google in my house and still access either devices. Then there's Android users who subscribe to Apple Music. You cannot stream your music to these HomePods. Because Android devices don't support AirPlay, there's no way of streaming them. There's no audio jack on the back. It doesn't support Bluetooth for that type of music capability, so you're kind of out of luck. And if you're thinking of using Spotify with Siri, forget it. That's not supported either. You can hand it off. You can tap on the screen and use AirPlay, but you can't use your voice to play music on Spotify. Right now, it's only working with Apple Music and a few other services. So here's the bottom line. If you want to take advantage of all the features that the HomePod has to offer, you need to be embedded into the Apple ecosystem. You got to have an iPhone so you can set it up. You have to be subscribed to Apple Music so you can take advantage of all the features, and all your smart devices need to be supported by HomeKit. And if you live in that bubble, then you're going to absolutely love the HomePod Mini, especially for its price point. However, if you have a mixed environment, let's say you're rocking an Android phone but have an iPad or a MacBook, you're better off going with a Nest product or Echo, just because the compatibility is a lot more versatile. Look, I love what Apple's doing. These are fantastic sounding products, but at the end of the day, you need to be embedded into the Apple ecosystem. But I'm so glad they're finally offering a cheaper version of the HomePod. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you enjoyed this video, because if you did, feel free to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.